All right, all right. What's up, everybody? No notification gang. Well, you got the 30-minute one, but no now one. Diddy's back in court. Did he do it? So if you guys could help me out with the like button, please. Another hearing, status conference hearing. And they're saying that this lady, Gloria Alford, she's representing some of the victims. They're saying she showed up in court today, too. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Where's that? I thought I had a picture of it. And I'm trying to find the reporter. Anybody remember the guy's name that was reporting from inside the courthouse? Because there's not like a live feed on the inside. I'm trying to find this guy because he did a really good job and his name is just not popping up. On Twitter. World of Twitter. Bro. What's up, guys? How you doing? Your mic is super loud. Is it? I even have it turned down a little bit. How does the volume sound for everybody else? Mic has been sounding off for a week now. It has, really? So what does it sound? Too loud? Cutting in and out? I guess I'll have to listen to my phone and see. Let me check. Oh, thank you, Inner City Press. Thank you so much. Maybe after the stream I'll have to readjust and do some tests offline to see what's going on. The gain was turned up really high. So I checked the gain because I have like a physical gain button, and sometimes, you know, just you touch around and the knob gets swiped, and so it was turned up like really high. Maybe that's what it was. We'll see if it sounds better. I turned it down. All right, so let's see. So Inner City Press, beyond the garbage truck in the front of SDNY Courthouse and the sirens, there was a wedding party coming out of the city building. There will be live tweets. Amazing! So he'll be doing the live tweets for us. Well, for everybody, really, not just me. Let me play this video in the background. I appreciate you telling me that because, honestly, sometimes, like somebody said, it's been out for a week. Sometimes I have an audio problem and nobody says anything, and then, bro, like, I only find out like way later on. Just listening up here.
Sean Combs making a third pitch to be released on bail. This time, he's going to a higher court, hoping he'll be released on bail as he awaits trial. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. This move by Sean Combs was not unexpected. His lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, had said they would appeal two judges' rulings denying Sean Combs bail. Sean Combs is basically asking the appeals court to overrule two lower court judges and say they made a big mistake by not granting him bail. Combs is locked up in the federal jail in Brooklyn. It's the Metropolitan Detention Center, and being behind bars would be a shock to anyone, but for Sean Combs, This is not anything he's used to. He's been living in the lap of luxury for decades. And I'm going to get to the key points Combs is making here in a moment. But first, here's how we got here. Combs has pleaded not guilty to 3 federal charges. Those are racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by fraud or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. His attorney has said that Combs hasn't committed any crimes.
His resolve is the same. He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent. And we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight any longer.
The federal case centers on Cassie Ventura, Combs' ex, who filed suit against him last November, alleging years of sexual, emotional, and physical abuse at the hands of Combs. She said he forced her to take drugs and take part in freak-offs, days-long sex parties with male sex workers. The U.S. attorney says Combs used his companies and his power and influence to cover up years of crimes and to commit sex crimes.
Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get...
There's something interesting, because I've been hearing all these rumors about Thalia Graves, which is another alleged victim. And here, Court TV says Thalia, who claimed Diddy Combs and his bodyguard barred her, allegedly planned to sue because he's the one that has the money.
To know tonight, let's take a look at the big board and an alleged bribe. This is potentially good news for Diddy, believe it or not. TMZ is reporting that they've seen a November 2023 text message between Thalia, one of his accusers, and the man who was her boyfriend. In it, she reveals she's planning to sue Diddy because he's the one that has the money. It also appears that she offers to give the boyfriend $3 million.
Oh my gosh. Hoax. Where's Hoax at? Oh, he's right there in the chat. Oh man. Nah, that's... It also appears she offers to give the boyfriend $3 million if he agrees to back her version of the alleged events after asking him to attest he's seen the alleged video of the incident.
If he agrees to back her version of the alleged events. After asking him to attest he's seen the alleged video of the incident, the actual text reads, what do you, and there you go, the $ 3 million. We've actually spoken with Thalia's ex, who confirmed the validity of the text messages. That's according to TMZ. Meanwhile, Gloria Allred, who represents Thalia, responded, it is very common that rich, powerful men and their supporters attempt to discredit, shame, and humiliate accusers who have the courage to come forward. The complaint speaks for itself. Our client is looking forward to her day in court. Take a listen. Well, we're not going to listen to that. Diddy's attorney has also spoken out, referring to a prior statement on all of this, saying, our day in court, etc. So,
I don't know. Did that hurt the case?
I know your deepest secrets. I know so much about you and what you've done. Beyonce, how you guys ended Carrie Hilson's career because she said something about you. Man, yeah, Beyonce's on drugs.
What?
She's been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way.
Well, that's this guy's claims. By the way, you guys remember that we covered Piers Morgan and Jaguar Wright? She was snapping. Well, apparently Piers Morgan apologized because he got sent some cease and desist letters.
Interviewed Jaguar Wright, a singer-songwriter whose issues claim
for the murder of Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G.
The shocking allegations levelled at Sean Diddy Combs have burst the floodgates on salacious claims about an industry many people believe harboured a monster. Understandably, the internet's ablaze with claims about these events and whether other powerful figures were involved too. Well, last week I interviewed Jaguar Wright, a singer-songwriter who's made claims about Diddy for years. Those claims had already received a lot of attention in the media across many platforms for many years. And that's the thing about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited her on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or
What on this vehicle is Diddy in there?
defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say
Homeland Security.
that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored, but like the proverbial cries of fire.
Wait, that's Diddy's family?
Ebony with you? Okay.
Ladies, any message you want to send your father?
Any message to your father? How's your father?
Have you guys spoken to your father? Have you
Quincy,
spoken to your
Good.
father?
take care of those girls, Quincy.
What do you want to say about your
Take
father?
care of those
Quincy, have you
girls.
spoken to your father?
You guys stay together.
The new Diddy documentary, I haven't seen it yet. Was it good? Is this Mueller streaks out?
I don't understand why all these people like.
Thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, nothing hit me at all with the hurricane, so we're fine down here, South Florida. I did see a lot of the flooding and the damage that happened in Central Florida. Pretty crazy. I have to go check again later, see what's going on. So it starts at 2 p.m. Eastern, so we got like 15 minutes. A lot of people outside of the courtroom.
I got a track for in the car.
So that was the mother. So Janice calls. Arrived.
Go New York.
They're ready to talk about a new hurricane for Florida. Another hurricane in the Western Caribbean at the end of next week.
Yeah.
Something else interesting. Sean Combs wants a gag order on prosecutors. Accuses DHS of leaking Cassie video. So they're worried maybe they're going to leak more stuff.
Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Thursday, October 10th, 2024. Now today, here, the big news is Sean Combs. Diddy at 2 p.m. Diddy will be coming in from the jail. Probably already here, underneath the courthouse. But the big moves were yesterday, just in advance of today's proceeding. His lawyers filed, they want a hearing. Whether they'll get it today, at least it will be discussed today, on leaks, they say, by the Department of Homeland Security of the infamous footage of Combs beating up and worse Cassie Ventura. They wrote, there were some emails back and forth with the prosecutors. They said, and yet across the street, life goes on. But they said that they didn't accuse the prosecutors of leaking it, but they believe the Department of Homeland Security leaked it. We'll see. I believe that Judge Subramanian, to whom the case has been reassigned, will probably set up a briefing schedule on that. We'll be learning more. They've said, also Combs' lawyers have said they want a trial in March or April. Whether the trial date will be set today, we'll find out. It'll be at 2 p.m. and we will be live tweeting it. And in crypto world, Ryan Salem of FTX, who infamously tried to withdraw his plea and then withdrew that after Michelle Bond was indicted, he's seeking to postpone his surrender to prison to December 7th. There's a lot of noise out here, but that's how it goes. So we'll see whether Judge Kaplan goes along with that. New York City corruption, of course, Eric Adams, we're all over it, waiting for the next boot to drop. In the interim, there's a trial, the first trial of this 70-defendant New York Housing Authority takedown. It's U.S. versus Joy Harris. And it emerged yesterday that at least one of the bribes paid by Mr. Singh of DK Bangla, small contractor, was paid after she'd signed off on him getting paid for the job. So under the Snyder...
What's K9's name?
Okay.
Rosalind? Hi, Rosalind. Hi. Hi.
Okay.
Huh? Are you out here being a good dog, huh? Oh, I see it right there.
No.
How long has Rosalind been a dog?
I don't think he's gonna get bail either.
K9.
I mean, 2 judges already turned him down.
Hi. How long
Already got
did
turned
you
down
say?
twice. The 3rd judge. It's a higher score, I guess, but
Almost 7 years now.
Oh, wow.
Not with me.
maybe he'll try to
Now
make
with you?
One of the Homeland
better
Security
case.
cops
Yeah.
is her original handler. I go, I thought you went to corrections because I did.
Right.
And I switched over to Homeland. I go, okay. But she recognized it.
Really?
Yeah.
Recognize the Homeland Security. You're nice little K9 dog.
Well, he used to work for us.
Oh.
And then when he left the company, he has to give the dog back. So then I got her after he left. Right, Razzie?
So what does Rosalind do most of the time?
Explosives.
Explosions?
Explosives.
Explosives? Okay.
Yeah, we have the checkpoint on the other side of the building.
Oh,
We
okay.
do all the trucks and everything. And we do devil's games too. That's where I'm going later, the home opener.
Oh, wow.
Sit. Good girl.
Aw.
Good girl.
Yeah, our audience loves the dog.
Sit. Sit.
Keep hearing stuff about Bieber too, man. All messed up. I don't even like listening to the stories. But they claim he was abused. I mean, I don't know what they did with him. He's underage, hanging out with Diddy. I think Diddy had a party with him too. I don't know if it was a freak-off party. But I remember that video. They were like, they had something special planned. Let's see here. Side. No, not really. I really didn't even have tornadoes around here. There was, like, I heard 1 or 2, but in my county, but they weren't even close to me.
Do you think Diddy's life is more at risk on the inside or outside if he gets bail? So many
really
more
good
people
question.
on the outside that could get him and more opportunity.
I know, that's a really good question. I feel like I agree with you. Oh, inside he might have less control, maybe. I don't know. Because on the outside, I mean, I'm sure he'd have his 24/7 security. They'd probably he'd have his own cameras on him. I'd have to double loop the cameras. Because he offered these people to like have 24/7 surveillance. You can have access. And they still said no. But if I was him, I'd double loop that audio, have it go send somewhere else too, in case if something happens to me, they try to delete the videos. Angry's Metal says Bieber's mom should face charges for abandoning him to Diddy. Just go wash my hands real quick. Right back. World of Diddy, what's going on? Thank you for the 10 ATX vibes. Nope, too many eyes will be on him in the streets. Prison freak off's not as much fun. Let's see what they're saying about Diddy on Twitter. Sean Combs countdown. Now 4 SDNY prosecutors coming to the courtroom and set up at the front table. Live tweeted thread and proceeding to start in 5 minutes. All right, so we got 5 minutes till they start. Prosecutors are in there sitting down. No! Bro, I can't. Okay. Hold on. We got to talk about this. We got to talk before we start. Well, we got 5 minutes anyway. All right, you guys, we've been following the whole Florida thing, right? Remember the Florida thing? The hurricane, the thing, right? The hurricane. But the thing I'm talking about is Lieutenant Dan. This is the guy that's been refused to get off the boat. I'm staying on the boat. I don't give a F. You know, blah, blah, blah. God told me to come here. I don't know if this is true, but this is what they're claiming. Pick offered Lieutenant Dan a $2 million deal and a $100,000 boat after surviving Hurricane Milton. This is someone who was allegedly found guilty of aggravated kidnapping, predatory criminal SA, and child P for the 2004 kidnapping and R of a 10-year-old. What? What? Well, they even put the screenshot. Oh my God, they put the screenshot too. Oh. Oh man. There was a jury trial, was found guilty of aggravated kidnapping, predatory criminal SA, child P, for the 2004 kidnapping and R of a 10-year-old. This is wild. I can't with this shit anymore, man. I can't. Oh my God. He was sentenced to a total of 120 years. So how's he at? What happened? And there's all his mugshots. Well, somebody here is claiming this is false and needs to be community noted. This is a different person with Dan's mugshot photoshopped onto it. Dan was found guilty of other crimes, though. I don't know. So we're going to have to double check and see what's true and what's not. They're saying it's true, though. I'm going to have to look this guy up. Oh, God. Oh, man. Faces of meth. We're gonna have to look this up, look a little deeper. Oh, jeez Louise. Failure to appear for most of these. Alright. Let's look a little deeper. Is it true? Is it not true? Joseph. Madeline Whiskey. Fox on the way to pursuit. Oh, lovely. How old is this guy? Phone is blowing up. Yeah, my laptop's
Jesse
not even hooked
Weber,
up.
and welcome to our special coverage here at Law and Crime.
Let me get the laptop set up.
Diddy Combs, as today the indicted rapper and music mogul will appear in Manhattan federal court for
Yeah, I heard,
status.
Wendy. I heard.
We're seeing
Crazy.
a live shot outside of that federal courthouse right now, and it's important to set the stage about what's going to happen today. Well, first, I'll tell you what's happening with Combs. He's facing three serious federal charges: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitution, namely that he's leading a criminal enterprise using his business and associates to engage in all sorts of criminal activities, including using force, fraud, coercion to cause women to engage in sexual activity, including sex acts with male sex workers. These are those so-called freak-offs. So these are the charges he's facing. What's going to be happening today? It's an important hearing. This is where we believe that prosecutors and his defense attorneys will address some serious issues with the court, including discovery. There is apparently a voluminous amount of material in this case. According to the parties, they submitted a joint letter to the court talking about this. We're looking at several terabytes of electronic material, cell phones, laptops, business records, physical evidence. What those materials contain, we do not know yet, but it's being shared to the other side. And therefore, there's going to be questions of how long it will take to extract the data. Will it be turned over to the defense? How long it will take to be turned over to the defense? But it's also possible we can learn more about a potential trial date. It seems that Sean Combs wants this to happen in the spring of 2025. We may learn some other deadlines in this case. And there may also be an issue, so be on the lookout for this, that will be brought up. This defense filed last night something very interesting. They said they are looking for a hearing to determine if the government engaged in misconduct. More specifically, did the Department of Homeland Security, the agents that raided Sean Combs' properties, were they the ones who leaked the 2016 surveillance video that appears to show Combs beating his ex-girlfriend Cassandra Ventura? It's quite the accusation, and we'll talk more about it. But to be clear, what we don't think is going to be brought up today is the issue of bail. Combs' defense attorneys, they have appealed his denial of bail, his pretrial detention, to a higher court, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. We'll see how that shakes up, but I think there's going to be more issues that are pressing today. And what makes today's hearing also interesting is this is now in front of a new judge. The new judge assigned to Combs' case out of the Southern District of New York is the Honorable Arun Subramanian. So it'll be interesting to see how he now handles these matters in a very, very high-profile case. Now, unfortunately, although we have cameras outside the courthouse, there are no cameras allowed in federal court. I could talk day and night about how I think that's a mistake. That's a subject for a different day. But here's the thing we do have. Long Crimes Elizabeth Milner, she is in that courthouse right now. She's going to be in that courtroom. She will come out later, report back to us live about her observations from the day's proceedings. But we're also going
Okay, still waiting on courthouse updates, though. He hasn't posted anything yet.
And also, we're going to take your questions. So if you have questions about what is happening in the Sean Combs case, if you have questions about what is happening today, submit them on YouTube. We will answer them for you right now. Okay, I have some great guests to talk about this. I have a great selection of guests that are coming out in the next couple hours. I'm joined right now by Brian McMonigal, the defense attorney from Philadelphia, a very acclaimed defense attorney, frequent guest on Sidebar, and also Ava Sullivan, former prosecutor, is in studio with me as well, another frequent guest on Sidebar. Great to have you both here. Brian, I'll start with you. What are you anticipating for today's hearing? Because I think there's a lot of issues. This is the beginning part of the case, but a lot of preliminary issues that need to be worked out. What are you going to be looking for?
I think it's going to really boil down to a scheduling discussion. This judge is going to want to obviously show that he means business in terms of putting deadlines out and having them meet them. I think that the defense's urgency in this, in terms of bringing this case to trial, is expected. He's in custody. He's going through hell. They want this case tried as soon as they can. But it's a case with significant discovery issues, terabytes of information, questions whether or not they're even going to be able to access some of this discovery. Imagine the timing of getting it and then the time it's going to take to go through every single piece of it from the defense perspective. The government's had this information for a while. The defense wants it tomorrow. And I think that, part and parcel of that, what'll happen today is the judge at least getting input from the parties, as he already has by way of a letter. How quick.
Sean Combs has been brought in through the side holding cell door in MDC. 10 pants and shirt. Maybe he meant to say tan. Tan pants and shirt. He is smiling. He hugs his lawyer, sits down talking with Tony Rico Suave. An appellate lawyer, Alexandra Shapiro, sits alone at the table behind. Drum roll. All right, they're getting started.
Sorry for the shaky video, guys. I not get to my tripod.
Quick, they want to try this case, what kind of deadlines they want to set, and how soon he can schedule those deadlines so they can be met.
So, Ava, I'm going to read you a portion of what the defense said in this joint letter to the court. And it says, the defense intends to ask the court to require the government to immediately produce certain categories of information, namely copies of Mr. Combs' electronic devices that were seized over 6 months ago and at the time of his arrest, and certain categories of requested Brady material, and to timely review and produce the remaining Rule 16 material in their possession. So what does that mean exactly?
Well, in regards to the Brady material, what that means is evidence that the prosecutors are going to potentially use against Combs. One of the things is he is able to, and also it's required that they produce all evidence to Combs that is going to be used against him. So he's able to evaluate it and prepare a proper defense.
And look, Brian, we don't know what this video evidence is, but the defense wants it. They want him, like you said, they want to go to trial. I mean, this is what they wrote in the letter. Mr. Combs continues to assert his right to a speedy trial and intends to request a trial date of April or May 2025, and as consistent with the court's trial schedule. That feels like around the corner when you're talking about terabytes and terabytes of information, and they are saying we're putting the government's feet to the fire. We want all this material as soon as possible. Is that ambitious? April, May 2025?
Overly ambitious. And the reason for the ambition is pretty self-evident. He's incarcerated. You know, this is a celebrity, multi-millionaire who is incarcerated, and they want to get this done. I think it's ambitious because the turnaround is going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to go through all of this evidence to see, what exculpatory evidence is there. They don't want to look at what the government thinks is important. They want to look at everything so they can find out what's important for the defense here. What's interesting is, though, that the most important pieces of evidence, besides that which is electronic and can be turned over, we're going to have, Jenks material. And, for a defense lawyer, the most important evidence in the case are the FBI 302s and the grand jury testimony of witnesses. Who are the witnesses going to be? What have they said to the government? How many times have they been interviewed by the government? That evidence we won't see until perhaps no sooner than 60 days before the trial date, or maybe within 2 weeks of the trial date, depending upon how lenient or conservative the judge is.
And my understanding is, especially with federal courts, the transparency is a lot more limited than if it was a state prosecution. But I mean, we could read between the lines, and I think even the defense suggested it in their filings that victim number one with respect to that sex trafficking charge is Cassandra Ventura. So people have been saying she could be the...
Let's check again real quick for some updates. Well, that's it, still. Okay, so we're still waiting.
Our witness. We have an update for court. As I said, I'm going to provide everybody updates as this comes in. First of all, Sean Combs
the same guy.
has been brought into the courtroom.
Oh, he's reading it too? Perfect.
He came in through the side holding cell door. He is wearing jail pants. He is wearing a T-shirt. And he was seen smiling and hugging his lawyers. So as we talk about Sean Combs, the rap mogul, the business mogul, fall from grace, to see him in an outfit like this, to see him in this environment is very, very different. And Ava, we have a question from YouTube as well. So anybody who has questions about the case, questions about what's happening today, please submit them on YouTube. This is from Lori Crabtree. Is there a statute of limitations on some of the video evidence found? Meaning, can you not introduce some of the evidence because it's time barred?
Now, we know under the Mann Act that a lot of these allegations that go back in time.
And Mann Act is sex trafficking, right?
Right.
Okay.
A lot of these allegations that go back in time, you can still prosecute them. And so under that, a lot of the evidence that may be 10, 15 years old, we are able to still use that evidence in the court.
Brian, one of the things I wanted to ask you about is I think there could be a discussion today about the defense's allegation that the Department of Homeland Security, to be clear, Department of Homeland Security, not the United States prosecutors, not the prosecutors from the Southern District of New York, but the Department of Homeland Security leaked that 2016 video of Sean Combs allegedly beating Cassandra Ventura. I say allegedly, but looks pretty, and he admitted what it is anyway. But the point is, if that becomes a topic of conversation today, how do you think that's going to shake out? Because they're saying we want an evidentiary hearing to find out who leaked it. The prosecutors have said it didn't come from us. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a great idea. Anything you can do to try and circumvent what I think is a smoking gun in at least the case as it relates to, the character of this fella. I think it's a good idea for the defense. Try and get a little bit of a fishing expedition, going on in terms of who leaked it. More importantly, at some point in time, they're going to need to get a fair and impartial jury. And this might just be the first in a series of motions they file trying to keep the government from leaking evidence that's going to be important to this case. Anybody who saw that particular video walked away from it disgusted. And obviously, people are going to be brought into a courtroom pretty soon.
He's pausing for a second. All right, let's check for some updates. Diddy in the courthouse begging, or maybe, I don't know, they're going to be begging to be let out on bail, man, but I don't think he's going to get it. Still no updates. Okay, we're still waiting. The last update we have so far is that he was brought through the side door. He's wearing these jail pants and shirt. He's seen smiling, hugging his lawyer, sitting down. Okay. All right.
Anything you can do to stop it, you try and stop it.
Case is over, by the way.
Yeah, sorry, Brian. Your signal went out for one quick second. But no, I hear you. I hear exactly what you're saying, what the motivation might be. Ava, I'm going to read you a portion of the letter. This is from their filing. This is from Sean Combs' defense attorneys. Mm-hmm. As detailed below, the CNN leak was but one of a long and documented history of leaks and false statements made with one purpose: to savage Mr. Combs' reputation prior to trial. While the government's misconduct in this case is particularly egregious, it is unfortunately part of a trend in this district. The government has learned that it can strategically leak information with impunity. This court should exercise its authority to prohibit these underhanded tactics, which severely undermine a criminal defendant's right to a fair trial. And they not only say this video was leaked, but also the number of comments that were allegedly attributed to DHS agents talking about who they're interviewing and what material they're seizing. They have a point?
I think they're doing what a good defense attorney is trying to do: get the smoking gun evidence out of there any way you can. Now, the prosecutors did a...
Some people on Twitter, they're getting a little upriled. Well, I don't know if upriled, but she said waiting. And so the guy in the courthouse, he says, I'm waiting too. Judge Aaron Subramanian hasn't come out yet and taken the bench. So basically the court is just waiting on the judge now to come inside.
Reply letter, and in their reply they said, look, the video leak didn't come from us, didn't come from the Department of Homeland Security. It wasn't part of the evidence we had for the grand jury. So your argument, although you're more than able to make it, and you have every right to, as a good defense attorney would, there isn't a leg to stand on. And I think that raises an interesting question with the defense strategy here. If they're bringing up, tactics, saying prosecutorial misconduct, they better make sure that it is correct, because if it's not, they could become less credible in front of the judge. And that could shape the way this trial plays out for the defense if you lose the trust of a judge.
Well, and by the way, as I said, new judge here would go over this issue. But talking about, because we're getting comments now from our YouTubers, and Brian, I want to go to you about this. This is from Keanu Kane on YouTube. Do you think they will allow bail this time, and is he considered a high risk? First, before I throw this to you, Brian, to be clear, we don't believe that the issue of bail is going to come up in front of Judge Subramanian right now, that this is now going to be decided by a different court, a higher court, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. But having said that, I read their brief, Brian, and I don't know if you had the opportunity to either, but what they basically suggest, and I'm going to summarize it, is we put together a very attractive bail package, $50 million bail, home confinement, take away access to his phone, take away access to the internet, visitor logs. He will be monitored by a third-party outside security team. We will put together any conditions possible in order to make sure that he is not a danger to society, as prosecutors claim. And they also spend a large portion of their brief saying he knew he was under investigation since January and had his attorneys reach out to prosecutors. He gave up his passport. He has been doing everything in his power to be cooperative. He came to New York to surrender himself. And this is not only a fair bail package, and he's been doing the right thing, but what they also suggest is the two judges who denied him bail previously, they were relying on unproven allegations from the prosecution. They're saying he was contacting witnesses, but there's not definitive proof of that. It was actually not as nefarious as they claim. There are people who are reaching out to him. It was regarding the civil lawsuits. So as this now takes its way to a second court, a higher court, what do you think?
Well, I thought the argument they made the first time they made it was an excellent one. I thought they overcame what is a statutory presumption in these type of cases. The problem they've got now, though, they're in a circuit court. And the circuit court is really going to be looking at whether or not there was an abuse of discretion. And there is a lot of discretion vested in the district court judges, the ones that ruled on this case, to make these kind of bail detention decisions that they make every day. And so while I think it's a really legitimate argument, and there's certainly circumstances that could be put in place that could protect everyone in this case and allow him to maintain his liberty, it's always a difficult task to overcome a district judge's finding on the issue of detention.
Yep. In other words, it wasn't so outside the realm of understanding why the judge did this, right? It's not like it made absolutely no sense. You take the government's allegations, you take the facts of this case, you take the weight of the evidence, you could say that the judge was justified, and that's really what you're looking at here.
Okay. So the judge is in there. Judge, let me see, make sure we got this in the right order. Okay, so he says, all rise, the matter of 24 CR 542, U.S. versus Sean Combs. Anthony Rico says Mr. Combs's mother and his children have traveled here from Florida and are seated behind me. We saw them walk in. The judge says AUSA, Smeyer's spouse, is at my previous firm. I wanted to disclose. Judge said, what about a Speedy Trial Act clock? Combs' lawyer Agnifilo says, I do not agree with the speedy trial waiver, that the speedy trial waiver is effective. We did not consent before Judge Carter. Judge says, you requested a trial in April or May of 2025. I can give you either month. Then the judge says, May 5th, the trial will start, or I'll give you April if you want. Agnifilo says, we'll take May 5th. There's a lot of discovery. Judge says, how long will the government's case be? The prosecution says 3 weeks. Okay. So the trial is going to be May 2025. And the prosecution says their case will take about 3 weeks. That's just their side. Who knows with the defense? All right.
As I mentioned, we're going to provide you updates throughout this hearing as it progresses, and we plan to stay here pretty much until this hearing's over, and even afterwards. So the hearing has officially started. Combs' new defense attorney, Anthony Rico, wanted to make it clear to the court that Mr. Combs' mother and his children traveled here from Florida and are seated behind me. Now, that's interesting, because we talked earlier in the week, and by the way, to let everybody know, what you're seeing is the best any of us can do. There are no cameras allowed in that courtroom. This is not like a standard law and crime trial. I wish it was. I wish there were cameras in there, but federal courts, New York courts, they don't allow cameras in the courtroom. It's really a big disappointment. So we are going to do our best to relay to you in real time what's happening. And of course, as I mentioned, Elizabeth Milner's in there, and she'll come out later. So that's interesting that his family's there. Obviously, his family's there, but his mom, earlier this week, and we did a sidebar episode on this, released a statement. And she basically told the world, don't judge him, allow him to present his defense. But also she said, he lied. He lied. When he said he had, didn't do anything. And then he apologizes for the Cassandra Ventura video. He lied. I thought it was very interesting his mom released.
Prosecutor says 3 weeks, but our investigation is ongoing. So there could be a superseding indictment. Agnifilo says there will be a defense case 1 week, I estimate. Okay, so did these people say 1 week? Judge says, and let's turn to discovery. The prosecution says we'll complete production by the end of the year. Judge says let's turn to disputes. The defense says we're trying to keep them to a minimum. We have an active dialogue with the government. I don't have any disputes at the moment. Judge says that's fine. Ms. Johnson, anything more on discovery? And the prosecution says on Monday, we have 1 terabyte. Holy moly. 1 terabyte. And that's probably not everything. That's just beginners. That's the start. 1 terabyte. I mean, 1 terabyte, well, it's a lot. Well, it depends, because depending on the quality of video or whatever, you can have really big videos if it's 4K. Depending on the quality. But yeah, that could be a lot of stuff. 1 terabyte. Damn.
Released that statement through her lawyer, of course.
And I think lying versus committing sex trafficking and RICO type charges are two very different things. The law says you're innocent until proven guilty, and his mom being there could be a show of her belief that my son is innocent of these indictment charges until he's proven.
Yeah.
And I'm going to support my son.
Yeah, I understand that. And look, she came out with that statement after the charges, after the civil lawsuits. And look, unfortunately, she's, I think, 84 years old. She's probably wants to get this statement in, and it's her son. So I understandable that she said that. But at the same time, they're very serious accusations, and a number of people have levied very, very serious claims against him. Okay, so I have a question for both of you. I will start with you, Brian. This is from Nicholas Winter on YouTube. What are your views on federal court not allowing transparency via press coverage inside the courtroom? Would the video of the hearing be made public when the case is closed?
I couldn't agree more with the view that there ought to be access. The citizens have a right to see. They have a right to know. They want to see justice being made. And they don't have that opportunity in federal courts. We don't even have that opportunity in the state courts of Pennsylvania. And I know what the rules allow for. I know why those rules exist. But I think we're now at an age, a point in time in our nation's history, where our citizens require it. They want to be able to see it so they can believe it. And they want to have trust in the system. And I think that would give them at least some confidence that what they hear, what they read is what their eyes are telling them. So why not?
Yeah, and not everybody's able to read an article about what happened. To have that visual medium, to have a clip unedited and put in context, of course, would really help provide that transparency. And no, there's not going to be a copy of the video after the case. There will be transcripts. We can see transcripts. That's probably the best we'll get. Courtroom sketches, as we're seeing.
Courtroom sketches. Let's see what else we got. So the prosecution says we have a terabyte, a device they asked for first. There were 96 devices seized in March from LA, Miami, and his person at a private airport in Florida. We are extracting material over the next 30 days. Prosecution says current technology doesn't allow us to quickly extract. The government's ability to decrypt is constantly evolving. Also, sometimes with older tablets, we don't have the forensic tools, so we're looking for solutions. Some devices were damaged. Yeah, people are commenting under 1 terabyte of parties. Damn.
Ava, I'll give you the opportunity to respond to that as well. But if you want, I have another question for you.
Sure,
Actually,
go
you
ahead.
answer that. This Nicholas Winter asked for your opinion too. What's your opinion on that?
As far as this situation with Dan, like I said, I'm trying to confirm because some people are saying there's SA charges, some people are saying it's just a drug charge, and so I don't know if people are confusing somebody with the same name or not. I would have to confirm his like age or middle name or something like that. But oh, okay, here we go. So Angel sent me she thinks they have the wrong Dan. But this one says age 14, the other one said age 10. I don't know. This is like messy. But there's some other guy named Joseph Mullenwhisky.
I don't think either of you are going to like my opinion. I think that it shouldn't be open to the public because the most important thing is the privacy of the victims, as well as to ensure that the charge, no matter how egregious the charges are, you have a right to a fair trial. And I think opening up to the public, having cameras in there, could really impede on that right.
Brian, I want to give you an update about what's happening in court. Literally what we just talked about, the speedy trial. So the judge said the defense requested a trial in April or May of 2025. The judge says they can give them either month, and the judge offered May 5th. The defense said they will take May 5th, and the government says its case will take 3 weeks. Do you imagine this really happening in May of 2025? Less than a year after he was arrested and indicted?
It's unbelievable. It would really be the absolute unusual situation with the representations made about the.
That's what I was saying. Mooney says it is the wrong Dan. The offender, the S offender, Dan is in prison in Illinois. So that's the one that I was just sent. Somebody in Illinois. And I think I even found, because I was looking, I think I even found somebody else too with the same name but different person, some other charge. Damn, bro. Whew. I was gonna say, I was like, oh no, not Dan, man. Lord Almighty.
The amount of discovery in this case, but I get it, and
well, he has a bunch of mugshots. They say because he didn't appear to court or something like that. That's what they say. He got all those mugshots.
They have an obligation to not only protect Mr. Combs, but to see to his wishes. And what he wants is his liberty. Now, if there's a determination, I can assure you by the circuit court that he's going to be released.
And that's what I'm saying. That didn't make any sense, too. The person that was convicted, so we read that screenshot earlier in the stream. I said we're convicted for 120 years. So, like, how would this guy be out?
They may want to punt this case until maybe 2 years from now.
Right.
But while he's in custody, I can assure you they're going to be pushing for that May trial date. And guess what? This judge is basically saying, you want it? I'll give it to you. But don't come crying to me, 4 months from now if it's not working for your schedule. So, interesting.
Yeah, look, I'm of the opinion, and I will back this up any day. I think he really thought he was going to make bail, be on house arrest for 1 year, 2 years, push it out as long.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he thought he was going to be chilling at the house, at the mansion, maybe that pink Coke. Then he find like pink Coke in his place, that hotel he was in, and just writing it out. The prosecution says we have 1 terabyte, a device they asked for first. Oh, we did that already. The current technology. Okay, so we're still waiting. Okay, I thought they had an update. Still waiting.
Right. Long as he wants. But now the fact, and I'll give you another update here, Ava. So the defense says its case, it's going to take 1 week to defend. And that seems to me, right, he's going to be locked up. Try to get him tried as soon as possible, put this behind him. They feel confident. They feel confident in their defense against these charges right now. And we've kind of heard a flavor of it, right? That all of these freak-offs were consensual. But doesn't that signal to you that the defense, at least at this point, feels confident in proving his innocence?
Yeah, but the defense might not also have all the evidence yet. The prosecutor in their letter said there was several terabytes of information. To break that down, if you had 2 terabytes of video footage, that would amount to 40 days of watching the video footage nonstop just to get through those 2 terabytes. And 1 terabyte, we know, is about 500,000 photos.
Well, the government has just said, the prosecutors, that they can complete production of discovery, meaning turning it over to Sean Combs, by the end of the year. So before January. So if you give everything to the defense by January, can they adequately prepare a case by May?
That gives you 4 or 5 months to review the amount of evidence. Like I said, the videos alone could take 2 months just to look at them every hour of every day for 2 months. You better have a great legal team behind you.
And that's for the current charges. If these charges are upgraded, if he's hit with charges related to minors, as some of the allegations in the civil suits have alleged, this whole case changes.
So he has like an interesting history, but I don't see any confirmation about anything with kids. I was sent another article that talks about an assault. We're talking about Lieutenant Dan, some type of assault, aggravated assault. And well, it was kind of interesting. The article just disappeared. There was too much crap open. There we go. Some issues with his boat, and if it's actually his boat. We'll get into it after this. He got in trouble too, April 2022, after a 1-year prison sentence in a felony case over punching a police officer in the nose. The manager of Irish Brigade Bar in Lake Worth Beach on Florida's East Coast asked him to leave the bar because he was screaming and breaking glasses. As a responding sheriff's deputy tried to handcuff him, he punched the deputy who punched him back. Okay. And there was some other situation where suspicion of aggravated battery after a woman said that during an argument he doused a park bench with gasoline and set it on fire. Okay. All right. Let me see if we got some updates. Not seeing updates. Let me try. Okay, the prosecution says from the airport, 9 devices were seized. From Miami, 36 devices were seized. 29 have been extracted, and 17 will be produced in our next production. LA, 51 seized. 27 will be produced in our next production. Also his phone from arrest in September. Prosecution says the subpoena returns. We are putting them in a relativity database. Judge says I'm Brady material. Prosecution says the defense sent us a Brady request. Judge says at the next conference I will ask you about your progress. Prosecution says our investigation continues. And then they just said now, the prosecution, we have a subpoena out to Combs Global. We're reviewing all of the material for privilege. Our filter team removes some of the material before the case team can see it. Judge, for motions, I'll give the defense until February 17 or before we're here. Damn. So I guess they're saying this isn't about, I thought it was about bond, but they're saying it's going to be a different judge. And I thought this was a higher court. I guess it's not. They're just talking about stuff.
All defense changes. I imagine that they can't go to trial in May so quickly. But with the current charges here, Brian, again, that part's interesting. That part's interesting, right? Because the government knows right now if they plan to issue a superseding indictment, right? So would they give any indication? I wouldn't think this May date's going to work, Your Honor. I can't tell you why, but I think that something's going to happen in the next month or so. They can't say that, right?
Yeah, they don't usually, and I don't think they would here, certainly. I have been expecting a superseding indictment in this case from the minute I first read the indictment. I was stunned that there were no other defendants. I was stunned that there weren't any charges relative to minors. But TBD. If there is no change, meaning if there is no superseding indictment, the defense will get what they want. I just don't know at the end of the day if that's what they're gonna want. You want time to prepare. You want time to go through everything. As Ava has said, it would be a Herculean task to go through all this stuff, and to find the stuff you're looking for. And things change. I will tell you. January will come, and we'll see some new developments, and that April or May trial date may quickly move if there's additional evidence that's provided, if there's a change in circumstances. But it's pretty clear they want to try the case now because he's in jail. Simple as that.
Yeah, but like you said, if that changes, if the Second Circuit lets him out on bail, like you said,
I got a whole nother thought.
It's 100% true. Now, to give everybody some more updates, they're discussing now discovery and disputes. The defense says we're trying to keep them to a minimum. We have an active dialogue with the government. I don't have any disputes at the moment. The government has said that there were 96 devices that were seized in those March raids from Los Angeles and Miami. And also when he was at that private airport in Florida. And the government is extracting material over the next 30 days. So it kind of gives us the time frame of this. Now, I want to, Ava, turn to some questions about the jury, the potential jury here. So this is from Danielle Taylor on YouTube. Where are they going to find a jury? And that is also another question we had as well from another viewer. I'm going to try to find out who said that. This is from Jane on YouTube. How is the court going to select a jury, given the fact that most people in the world know of him?
That is the question of the hour that everybody is asking. I think one of the issues here is he is one of the...
The judge says, let's have a next discovery conference on December 18 at 2 p.m. Okay, we need to save that date, I guess, December 8th. I'll just type it out for now. I need to actually use the calendar that I bought that just sits there collecting dust. But Sean Diddy Combs, whatever. Discovery hearing. It could be interesting what they revealed during a discovery. I don't know how in detail and depth they're going to go, but December 8th. (2 p.m. Eastern). All right. And let's turn to the defendant's motion. And so the defense now saying, Diddy's people, we're asking for a gag order. The concern is that the agents have been leaking grand jury information and making other prejudicial statements. He goes on to say that we told the prosecutors your agents are leaking information to the press. It started again around the time of the arrest. The interim relief we're requesting is the gag order. The judge says it's like the local rule. And the prosecution says we ask you to defer. Prosecution then says they're trying to exclude a damning piece of evidence. The press statements, they're not from the prosecution team. That is significant. We request you to defer any ruling until you get our papers. We will, of course, not speak to the press under 23.1. Somebody said, how do we know it's not the defense leaking it so they can get a gag order? PSYOPs. So they're claiming that these people, Homeland Security, they're leaking out information. And the prosecution is saying that they're trying to exclude a damning piece of evidence. I wonder what that is. The press statements, they are not from the prosecution team. A damning piece of evidence. Is something coming? Something going to come out? Or is he just talking about the Cassie video? I mean, it's already out there. So I wonder if they're talking about something else.
Most famous hip hop artist of all time. So how are you going to get a jury that's fair and impartial that hasn't heard about the Diddy case?
The judge says the order would prohibit any further leaking of information to the media. It can be furnished to DHS agents. Prosecution says we have no problem affirm our obligation not to speak to the press. We object to an order about future leaks. If so, should be reciprocal. That's weird. Why are you objecting to future leaks? You guys shouldn't be leaking anything out. But they're also saying then you guys don't leak anything else out either.
I don't know. I think that it's going to come down to the jury questioning when they get the jury there, doing the voir dire and asking the question of, can you be fair and impartial? The test isn't whether or not anybody's heard of the case. Right. I'm sure everyone probably has, but whether or not you can set aside any bias that you may have against Sean Combs and be fair and impartial. And I'm sure when they do the voir dire, we're going to see a lot of challenges to the jury pool, and this is going to be a long, drawn-out process.
Well, that's the point when the defense makes to say that this video, Brian, of him purportedly beating Cassandra Ventura, everybody saw that video. And that is going to be very hard to forget. That'll be very hard to put away. Now, the defense says, Brian, I'm curious, they say you're looking at this video, you are saying it's evidence of her escaping a freak-off. This was a couple that had a very tumultuous relationship. They both abused drugs. This was a domestic spat. This was an incident of domestic violence, but it's not evidence of a sex trafficking. It's not evidence of a criminal enterprise. What do you make of that?
Yeah, one of the motions you're going to see here is to exclude that video for that very reason, that it has nothing to do with the crimes charged. This was no different from him getting into a fist fight on the street or a fight with someone in his own family. It was domestic violence. It had nothing to do with the crimes charged. And quite frankly, they may have a legitimate leg to stand on here. It is so prejudicial that there's going to have to be significant probative value for it to come into evidence in this case. And they will monumentally move heaven and earth to try and keep that evidence out, I can assure you.
Going back to an update, so the government still talking about discovery, the material in this case, that it's going to take some time and specific tools to extract all of the data. Some devices.
Oh, bro, this is more drama. Well, okay, we got to pause. Pause. So, okay, we're following the Lieutenant Dan debacle, right? The guy that refused to leave his boat, got national attention. Aiden Ross, one of the top kick streamers, and he's friends with the owner and all stuff. They said they were going to pay for this guy's boat, right? They're going to pay up to $100,000, and they're going to offer him a kick deal, which supposedly, there's Tornado Granny talking about it. Thank you. Supposedly, it was like $2 million. Well, now I guess there's trouble in paradise. Oh, I lost it. Where'd it go? That's why I shouldn't touch anything. Aiden Ross says no. We're not going to give you the shit no more.
Feel about Aiden Ross telling you he not getting you a boat no more?
Whoa! What's Hoax at?
I never went to him. He offered it to me. I never asked for it. So then he turns around and he starts singing about my history. Well, you should have did that before you made the offer.
Oh!
You know, if you're worried about your image and who you have working for you, you should have done your due diligence and looked me up before you made me an offer of $100,000 sign-on bonus and $50,000 a month with a $100,000 boat. And I'm gonna let you go because I don't care about that.
Oh shit! I got the physical stuff, all that. I mean, it's nothing to me.
With a $100,000 boat, and I'm gonna let you go because I don't care about that. But I'm gonna tell you
this. He took the money away too?
Huh?
He took the $100K.
Took as far as I know, everything.
Oh wow!
You know, and that's the thing. I mean, I didn't ask you for it. You offered it. I agreed to do what you asked me to do. You asked me to be on Kick 100 hours a month. I agreed. I said no problem. I'll do it. I'm down for that. We agreed. And then all of a sudden, the next thing I see her and see on the internet is how you're disgusted with my history and that deal is done.
So what about your history that disgusts him so bad? Because we all got a history. Nobody closet clean.
I went to prison. I did jail time. But I have to tell you point blank, God to my soul, I'm innocent of all the charges. I was charged with battery on a law enforcement officer. He said I punched him in the nose. I never even saw the cop. He beat the hell out of me from behind. And then I went to prison for a year and a day on a battery on a Leo charge. And I never even saw him. But the thing is this, is where karma and God are real. Because the bartender who started it all, the manager and the arresting officer were all the witnesses. While I went to prison for 5.5 months, the 44-year-old bartender had a massive heart attack in his sleep and died.
Oh my God.
What? The cop, who was a street cop that used to wear the sheriff thing across his chest and had the gun and the boots and the military, he's now behind a desk at the substation in Lake Worth. So that when you walk in, he's like, "How can I help you?" Tell me that ain't a demotion.
Right.
And on top of that, he looks like he's got cancer.
Oh my God.
And that ain't my fault. I didn't do nothing to you.
Right.
What drama? Let me just update the court stuff real quick. So the judge says, okay, draft one, I'll hear any objection. And they're talking about the order to no future leaks and stuff. So the prosecution says, we have concerns about the defense's statement. He baselessly accused the government of engaging in a racist prosecution. Oh, God. It violates Rule 23.1D7. The prosecution reads, I'll read a quote. They make this case a takedown of a successful black man. The statements have been picked up. He should affirm his obligations under 231 or 23.1. The defense says this should have been in the letter, but I affirm my duty. The judge says any application under the Speedy Trial Act. Prosecution says we move to exclude time under the act. It's already told by the motion. Judge says I exclude time until December 18. I have no application for bail before me. Yeah, what's up with that? Okay, we're waiting on the next update.
You know what? Karma bit you on the ass because you got on the stand and said I punched you in the nose when you know damn well I didn't do it. I never even saw you.
What about the woman that supposedly assaulted?
Mr. Joe makes me feel old. You can just call me Jay.
Jay. So do you like that they call you Lieutenant Dan?
I don't care. I mean...
but Aiden Ross went with the wrong information. Oh my gosh. So Aiden Ross, this is what we saw at the beginning of the stream. But this is why you have to look a little bit further. So I saw this viral post, and he went off of this viral post that he saw about the kid stuff. After previously offering to buy internet star $100,000 bullet, streamer Aiden Ross rescinded his offer after discovering his criminal record.
Wait, what? I don't even know what to say. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, bro. I really don't even know what to say. I swear to God, I don't know what to say. Wait, what?
So it's the whole stuff with the kid stuff. Listen, after looking into it, I don't see that on this guy's name. And he does have a criminal history, but it's not, from what I can see, anything to do with kids. It's like some type of assault thing with an officer and assaulting a woman.
I rephrase that. Let me reword that. I do, but
and something with a boat. Some issues with a boat.
It's what got me blown up the way I am.
Ooh, yeah. Kathy.
But I'm not Dan. I'm not Lieutenant Dan. I'm not a lieutenant. I've never been in the military.
Oh, because they were trying to say something about stolen valor too, or people were claiming that.
Never claimed to be, and I don't want people to think that I don't want them to associate me being in the military because of this.
Yeah.
They think I'm a vet and things like that, and I'm not a vet. I never claimed to be.
Are you happy about your GoFund hitting 30-something thousand though?
I'm free.
You supposed to be living your best life in Dubai. Or you are?
I'll be there. This is only the beginning.
This is just the beginning? I know that's right. Feel about Aiden Ross telling you he not getting you a boat no more?
He came to me. I never went to him. He offered it to me. I never asked for it. So then he turned around and he starts seeing about my history. Well, you should have did that before you made the offer.
See, there's miscommunication going on here because have they been clear? How this woman, I don't know if she knows about the charges, asked about the rumors and what charge. I mean, she did ask about the charges, but he doesn't. I don't think he knows, or he knows that they're putting the kid stuff on him, because I'm sure he would address that. Let's see what else. I affirm my duty. Okay. Judge says so. Mr. Combs will remain detained. So they didn't file some. I guess they're waiting. I have no application for bail before me. Then the judge says, so Mr. Combs will remain detained. We are adjourned. And that's it. So, I don't know. Are they doing the bond bail thing after? And apparently this is the actual person that is a pedo, supposedly. This guy, I guess he has like the same name or something. Yeah, Joseph Matthew. So gotta be careful with names. It's always good to try to check the date of birth if you can, and also check the states. You know? But apparently it's somebody else. Let's just go over this. I think this was a really good article that Viper sent to me on Twitter. I was shocked that when I first saw the post, I was like, you saw me, I was like, what? I can't take any more of this shit between Diddy and all these other weird people and shit. Every day is something. All right, so this is the guy here, dubbed Lieutenant Dan, which I don't even know how he got that name. I don't know if they just, because he's on a boat, or I don't know. I don't know. That's where people started saying that, like, oh, he says he's in the military. He wasn't. He said he never claimed to be. And he's amputated. He has one leg only. The itinerant, heavily tattooed amputee sailor who captured the world's attention this week, insisting he'll ride out the hurricane aboard his small boat in Tampa Bay, served nearly 6 months behind bars in Florida recently for punching an officer, and last year was arrested over allegations he tried to set a woman on fire with gasoline. So those are the actual stuff supposedly that's against him, and I'm pretty sure they would have, the news people would have pulled up this other thing if it was linked to him. But he's 54 years old. His middle name is Joseph John Malinowiski. I don't know how to say that. Malinowiski. So he survived the hurricane thing, and he's a media sensation. And he has apparently, he is separately due in the state criminal court later this month in Tampa in a dispute over whether the sailboat is his legally. The same sailor also ran into trouble with the law last year for sinking another sailboat. Wow. In Florida's East Coast. He made headlines on CNN and everywhere else. He had a conversation with Jim Cantor of the Weather Channel. He said in an interview Wednesday he was adamant he would survive the hurricane. I have no fear. I'm not scared about what happens. I have no aftermath planned. If the boat starts to sink, I'm going to swim away. So this guy, Lieutenant Dan, let's see. Okay, he lost part of his leg in a scooter crash 38 years ago. He became famous and infamous for refusing to leave. And let's see what else. Just get past. Florida criminal court records was released in April 2022. After 1 year in prison, which is what he just said in that interview, in a felony case over punching an officer in the nose, and the manager of an Irish Brigade bar in Lake Worth Beach on Florida's East Coast asked him to leave the bar because he was screaming and breaking glass. When that cop tried to arrest him, he punched the cop, and the cop punched him back. Now, last year, in a separate case in Palm Beach County, he was arrested on suspicion of aggravated battery after a woman said that during an argument, he doused the park bench with gasoline and set it on fire. He said he was burning an unspecified residue off the bench and denied intentionally splashing gas on the woman. I wasn't trying to light her on fire. There was like this little residue, and she just happened to have gasoline splash on her, you know, but I wasn't actually trying to burn her alive. According to him. Anyway, last year, prosecutors in Palm Beach County charged him under an obscure Florida law against abandoning a sunken boat after his 26-foot sailboat in Ronan Inish was found on its side and sunk against a seawall near the Ocean Avenue Bridge and Lantana. I didn't know you could get in trouble for that. I guess it makes sense. I've seen quite a few times boats like abandoned. I was actually by the beach a couple of weeks ago, and I saw this boat that was like on the shore, but like half sunk. You could tell the boat was like trash. I don't know what happened to the boat. It was just left there. Okay. Interesting. So they got him on this charge. They found the boat. He had bought the boat for $1. That was a different boat than the one he's living in now in Tampa Bay. Prosecutors agreed not to move forward in court under a plea deal. Okay. So they're saying he garnered a following through a University of Tampa student, Terrence Concannon. That was one of the streams we went to last night, I think, but he had gotten off already. Who met him one day when he was walking home before Hurricane Helene arrived. Concannon, 23, said that Malonescu, or Lieutenant Dan, was calling for help because he had gotten stuck under a bridge. He learned about his plan to live on his boat during Helene and documented it to his growing TikTok audience of nearly $500,000. He has a GoFundMe, $23,000, which now is like 30-something thousand. And that's it. So that, I don't know, that's the supposed official background of criminal stuff that seems confirmable. All the other stuff, it actually does seem like the other stuff would seem like it was tied to the wrong person. I mean, it's actually somebody else. Some other guy. So, I wonder if Aiden will take back on his like renege, like cancel, or does this other charges alone? Will he just be like, you know what, I'm still not interested? So everybody right now is talking about this guy. People are upset or whatever. You gave this lifelong criminal Joe, Lieutenant Dan, $40K, and now these dumbasses at Kickstream are offering $2 million kick deal and a $100,000 boat. Dan attempted to set a woman on fire, and also, and this is who they decided to help. They're still putting the P thing on him. Oh, that's why they got the nickname. Yeah. Thank you, Carly. It's from Forrest Gump. Yes. True hoax. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's it for now. We got Diddy updates and we got Lieutenant Dan updates. We'll see what happens with him. And the hurricane has already passed. It's left Florida already. Today's like a normal day. I mean, I know I didn't get hit directly by it at all, but I know there's a lot of people still without power. They say a couple, I don't know how many million now. You see Florida people with no power. People that's homes are flooded, destroyed. That really sucks. I feel bad for those people. It says there are more than, well, this was 8 hours ago, more than 3 million Floridians. Damn. Even an hour ago they said it. Over 3 million without power. Wow. They said at least 5 dead. And I really wonder how did those people pass? Because, I wonder if those are people that had left and evacuated, or are those people that decided to stay back? They say sometimes, too, after the hurricane passes, accidents happen. People, stepping on a power line or something. Tornadoes did the damage, yeah. Lily with the concrete house. I'm going to pull up all those videos later. Those TikTok pages. Oh, Irvine PD adds cyber truck to its fleet. Ooh.
One of the safest cities in America, revving up community outreach by doing this unique thing. The Irvine Police Department adding a Tesla Cybertruck to its fleet.
Whoa.
The Cybertruck costs more than $150,000. It will be used for community outreach by DARE officers. The department has a history of using unique vehicles to engage students.
We are very excited about the Cybertruck because we are the first police department in the nation to have a police Cybertruck. And we're one of only 2 agencies that still have the DARE program left in California. And so we're really excited to have this be just another tool for us to engage with the community.
Interesting. Oh yeah, we're trying to move a branch off house or car and it falls on the... There's all kinds of weird stuff that can sometimes happen after the hurricane's gone. There were 3 car accidents while evacuating 2 were from more tornado. Yeah, it's just let me see real quick what else. Just do a quick little browse. Oh, sorry. No. We'll avoid that. All right. Oh, school's open back tomorrow, at least down here in South Florida. Damn. Wow. Team HCSO rescues a 14-year-old boy found floating on a fence after Hurricane Milton. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there you go. Wow. Where's his parents?
Sorry.
What's the front west?
Oh my god. Wow. Pretty crazy. I'm sure there's all kinds of like crazy clips on Twitter. That was a crazy picture. Oh yeah, supposedly that guy too that allegedly Aiden was offering $70,000, like some type of storm chase thing. I don't know if it was really true, but that was the claim. And apparently he pulled on that one too. He pulled on these people to pay them $70K. Damn, man, they really pulling up this guy.
Am I lagging? No, my phone's getting fucked up. No. Okay, it's starting to calm down. Oh shit. Aiden Ross commented and said he's not paying me. What the fuck? What? Wait. Aiden Ross just commented and he said he's not paying me. What the fuck?
Pulling out on everybody.
I need to get the fuck out of here. Am I lagging? No, my phone's getting fucked up. No.
Our DARE officer back in the early 90s was a crackhead who stole mad drugs. Really? I thought that was interesting too, Carly, when they said they only have 2 departments of DARE in California left. They gave up on the DARE program. Everybody's high on something. So they just pulled out the program. Cut funds.
Okay, it's starting to calm down.
Lieutenant Dan upset after Aiden Russ cancels his deal. Damn. I don't know if I want to go live in the sticks anymore. Central Florida, North Florida, they're always getting hit by hurricanes. I mean, I know we get some stuff down here, but those people get flooded out.
El territorio nacional a una velocidad de 13 kilómetros por hora.
I'll say they got a community post here, community note. So they linking this picture that's gone viral, but it says here, this photo is of Joseph John, aka Lieutenant Dan. This guy's 54, the Florida guy, but the case is for a different person. This person is 63 years old and from Illinois. All right. I think he still made out pretty decent, though, if he got... oh, I forgot to have video of this thing after. Combs. After U.S. versus Combs. Received long crime or something. I don't know if they're just waiting for the family or attorneys to come out, or are they going to say anything? I don't think the attorney's going to say anything.
An inside joke here, hang on. Okay.
I mean, they have, they do have microphones. We'll see if they say anything.
Never brought up the bail application. Why not?
Right.
Bail pending criminal prosecution. Mandatory. It's mandatory. You can't be tried in person. A bail?
Who's this?
Because you have a right to be convicted before you can be subjected to the penalties of a crime. You can't have the punishment before the conviction. Due process mandates bail or release pending conviction.
Hey, get on the mic. Get on the mic. Yeah. Is that an attorney or something? What is he? I don't know.
Listen, my name is Ari and I'm a paralegal.
Oh.
The United States Constitution mandates that nobody's subjected to the penalties of a crime without a conviction. Therefore, it is mandatory that Mr. Combs be released pending a conviction. Also, to try to say that he may have tampered with witnesses, etc., there's no evidence that he did this subsequent to being charged. To try to say that he presents a flight risk and everything like that, there's no evidence that he ever sought to evade prosecution. It's called prevention. You can't do that. You can't say punish a person for something they might do. They can only punish a person for something they have done. So the law mandates that he be released. pending his trial, and that any deprivation constitutes a fundamental deprivation or violation of.
Why they cut him off? What the hell? Hold on, we got the other guy. What? Hold on. Shit. This guy left. How was that? Hey, why the network cut him off?
And gag orders regarding the government allegedly leaking material. Most importantly, I would say, is the discovery schedule, how much material there is in this case, when it's going to be turned over to the defense. And I will tell you, the idea that his defense team is looking for a May 2025 trial date, very ambitious, given how much material there is. So I want to bring in right now, I have two special guests as we wait, by the way, for Elizabeth Milner, our reporter, who is inside that courthouse, to come out and give us the latest. I'm here with Law and Crimes.
I don't know what happened with this guy. Okay, he spoke a little bit and then left. Oh, it doesn't even have volume, though. What? Let me find another feed. Associated Press.
False. You have a right to be convicted before you can be subjected to the penalties of a crime. You can't have the punishment before the conviction.
It was funny too when somebody was like, "It's bad when you have the paralegal defending like as a spokesperson."
Process mandates.
I wonder if he's with the Diddy team or he just came out on his own and started. I mean, he's got to be affiliated somehow.
Bail or release pending conviction.
But say he's not something. He's not what?
Are you connected to the case? Listen.
Don't worry about who I am.
My name is Ari and I'm a paralegal. The United States Constitution mandates no one subjected to the penalties of a crime without a conviction. Therefore, it's mandatory that Mr. Coons be released pending a conviction. Also, to try to say that he may have tampered with witnesses, etc., there's no evidence that he did this subsequent to being charged. To try to say that he presents a flight risk and everything like that, there's no evidence that he ever sought to evade prosecution. It's called pre-invention. You can't do that. You can't say punish a person for something they might do. They can only punish a person for something they have done. So, the law mandates that he be released pending his trial, and that any deprivation constitutes a fundamental deprivation or violation of due process.
Running out of steam. Thank you.
Let's see, Randy. I'm not sure. Go ahead, try.
Who's next? Who's gonna walk up to the mics next? You get a good audio check? Winner. Good mic check.
All right, let's catch up.
She's at the front, right there.
There's the family.
Can you speak at the microphones?
I guess no comment.
You love your son. Let's go. comment before you go back to Florida?
This guy has like, I wonder what this is. I mean, I see his phone set up, but I guess it's a camera. And maybe he can see what his camera's looking at.
That's why I was asking, okay. Counselor, you're gonna talk? Mr. Rico, you go ahead, drop. Oh, he's a monster. He tried to kill me one night in New York City. He's a monster.
So somebody else there's speaking out loud saying he's a monster and he tried to kill me one night in New York City. I should interview that guy.
Watch yourself. Get on sidewalk, please. On this side, is that everybody? No. How's the family? Family's doing fine. Difficult circumstances.
Speak in the microphones, please. At the microphone.
Can you speak in the microphone?
Yeah, that microphones are over here.
Can you come up front, please?
God, I never sent the email out. Oops.
Microphone.
The night Puff tried to kill me. A memoir.
Come to the mics, please.
I don't know. Direct them to the microphones, please.
Fast forward. There we go.
Just repeat what you said over there in terms of yes. I could never remember what I said. How's he doing? He's doing fine. Dr. King called it the law of unintended consequences. Sometimes the more you push a person down, the stronger they get. And so he's making an adjustment. He had his family here today to support him. We really want to put an end to all of the clowning that we see on the internet. It's a serious proceeding with serious consequences, and all of us are addressing it accordingly.
Anthony, is it a racist proceeding, as Marcus said?
Is it a racist proceeding?
Nobody's okay with staying in jail for now. Okay,
Anthony,
thank you very much. That's it for today.
As Marcus said, do you continue to believe that?
So they're not pleased with the internet and I guess maybe the trolling or the whatever.
What was his name? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I guess that's it. The prosecution didn't come on and say anything. No bail. They didn't bring it up. They didn't bring it up for some reason. The judge even mentioned like there's nothing before me. I don't know if they're taking it to somebody else. I thought that's what I read. Diddy bail. So today he was in the lower courts of Manhattan. He did file an appeal, but let's see. This marks the third formal attempt to secure Diddy's release. So he did file an appeal. This would be the third attempt. And I don't know why it wasn't brought up today. Maybe because this is the lower courts. See, it says he was due in the lower courts for a pre-trial. Pre-trial hearing, it says. And I said, oh yeah, it's May 5th, 2025 is the trial date. I guess. I guess.
I don't even know. I don't even know if you went to counsel.
But Christian, but the lawyer hasn't left. The lawyer hasn't left.
No, just stay out. Yeah.
Christian, I got a splitter in my car for later.
I think, I don't know if he's held in solitary confinement. I definitely think they have to separate him. I don't think they can just let him be with the regular population. Maybe he is. I don't know. Solitary confinement. Keeping an eye on him. Kitty holding on to a car. Yeah, rescue.
Oh. Okay, that's good.
Oh, little cat. What? Afghan accused of plotting terror attack worked for CIA? Wow. Nasir Ahmed Tawhidi, 27 years old, was nabbed in Oklahoma on Monday over an alleged terror plot, was employed as a security guard for the agency, but was not a CIA informant. It wasn't immediately clear. Oh, he worked for the CIA, but like he's a security. That's still weird, but okay, I guess. Okay. He had taken steps in recent weeks to advance his attack, including ordering AK-47 rifles, liquidating his family's assets, and buying one-way tickets for his wife and child to travel home to Afghanistan. Wow. All right, I'm out of here, guys. If anything pops off, I'll catch you later. Be safe. Take care. Peace. Bye. Bloop, 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 bloop.